All right, Algebra 1, here we go, guys. We are officially starting Chapter 6 today. So let's jump into it. Okay, here we go. Chapter 6, Section 1. Listen, hopefully it didn't completely burn you guys out in Chapter 5, because I know we used a lot of slope-intercept form, and we are still using a decent amount of slope-intercept form. And in fact, throughout this chapter, we're going to be introducing a couple new forms to you. Okay, so without any more waiting, let's jump into it. Here we go. Section 1, little review there. Y equals mx plus b. You guys know that that's the slope-intercept form. Just in case, there's the little stuff to make sure you guys get it right here. There's your equation. Slope goes with m. Rise over run goes with slope. Y-intercept, boom, right there with b. Okay, so a little review. Make sure that you guys are taking the notes. Again, these notes are not for me. They're all for you. So write them down. Take the time to help yourself. If you need it, that's why we do this. All right, so let's keep moving. All right, the next part, this relates directly to some of the homework problems that you're going to be given tonight. So if you are given the slope, they say, hey, this is the slope, and they give you the y-intercept, then it's real easy. You simply just plug those into the equation, because they're going to say, hey, what is the slope-intercept equation if your slope is this, and if your y-intercept is this? You just plug them in. So look at that example I wrote out there for you guys. They're going to say the slope in this example is a -3/2. The y-intercept is 5. Now write the slope-intercept equation when given those two pieces, and all you're doing is plugging them in. Okay, so boom, there's your slope. As it says, plug it in for m right there. There's your y-intercept. Plug it in for b right there, and then your answer right here. That's it. That's all they'd be asking for. So that's how the homework starts out. Very easy. Okay, let's move into the next part. All right, so if you're given a graph and then they say, I want to know what the slope-intercept equation is, then you're going to have to take some steps here. Okay, so as you see, first step, find the y-intercept. All right, how do we do that? You look at the y-axis, which is this axis right here, and you determine where is it crossing the y-axis. And for us, it's going to be right here down at -2. So that's our y-intercept right here, right here. That's step 1. So because it's crossing at -2, we could take this -2 and immediately know that we're plugging it into the equation right there where the b value goes. Okay, you know that you're going to have y, you know that you're going to have equals. Now we know what b is. It's -2. Okay, let's go back. Now then, from the y-intercept, that's important. From the y-intercept, you're going to count whether it's up or whether it's down, then to the right. All right, it's always going to be counting to the right, because if we go from the y-intercept and we count up, then it's to the right. If we had a y-intercept that was high, we would count down, and then we would count to the right. Okay, so then from that y-intercept, count up or count down, and then to the right, till right here you get to an exact point. All right, we need an exact point, because if it's in between points, that's going to be a fraction. We don't want that. We want an exact point. So right here, start at -2, follow those red lines. We go up 1, 2, 3, 4, then right 1. Okay, so that's why we have right here up 4, right 1. Slope is rise over run. Up 4, right 1, 4 over 1. That's how we get our slope right there of 4. So put it all together in the equation, and it's y equals 4x minus 2. All right, and you're going to follow along with me. I'm going to do a couple example problems specific to that style. So follow with me, keep tracking. All right, let's jump into these example problems right here. Okay, first one, write the equation with a slope of 8. So 8, slope, that's m, and a y-intercept of -7, that's b. Remember the equation, y equals mx plus b. So all we're doing here is now substitute these values in, okay? Y equals 8x minus 7. That's all they're asking us to do. Here's the slope. Here's the y-intercept. Plug it into the equation. All right. Now let's get into the second example problem. Write an equation for this line. All right. Remember, step 1, find the y-intercept. All right. Where do we always start? Before we do anything, we always start at the origin, which is 0, 0. Find the y-intercept. So we are going up 1, 2, 3, 4. So b equals 4. So up to this point in the equation, I know I'm going to have y equals, we're going to have something for our slope, then x. If b equals 4, we're going to say now we have a plus 4. So now I need to calculate my slope. All right. And in this case, we went up, right? How many times? 4. Now we are at that y-intercept, all right? So we are right here at 4. And what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to travel down. So if we're traveling down, that's down how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm traveling to the left. 1, 2, 3. This is a little bit different here. You may have noticed if we travel down 4, that's a -4. Then if we travel to the left, that's also another negative. So that's a -3. But a negative over a negative actually makes a positive. So that would mean that really we're looking at m equals 4 over 3. So that is my slope right there, 4 over 3. So the whole equation, slope-intercept equation, is right there. Y equals 4/3 x plus 4. Okay, so remember, first step, find the y-intercept. Second step, from the y-intercept, count to the next point. That's going to be how many times up or down, then how many times moving back and forth. All right, let's take a look at example problem number 3. This is the last example problem. So step 1, find the y-intercept. Start at 0, 0. We're counting down 1, 2, 3. So we are at a -3. So in this one, b equals -3. So we have y equals, there's going to be a blank. We got to get the slope, x minus 3. So now from that y-intercept, what do I have to do? From the y-intercept, I need to count. Looks like we're going back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a 5, a positive 5 on top, okay, because I went up. But then we went to the left, and because I went to the left, that's going to be over a -1. Left is a negative, okay? So now, what am I doing here? If I have a 5 over a -1, that's going to equal a -5. Now let's show it in a different method. What if you started, let's see if we're going to have, I know, plenty of red here. If we start at this dot and we count to the right one, that'd be a +1. And then if we counted down, that'd be a -5. So just to show it to you, you could have a -5 over a +1, a 5 over a -1. Both of those will still make this value right here, the -5. So that is our slope right there, -5. Okay, so all they're asking for is the equation. We now filled in the equation there. Y equals negative 5x minus 3. All right, that covers us. Those are the 3 example problems I wanted to show you. The homework for this assignment is going to be just these 2 styles. If they give you the values, you just plug them into the equation. But if they give you a graph, you have to use that graph, y-intercept, then counting to the next point to get the slope, then put it all together. All right, remember, if you have questions, ask in class, send me an email, send me a message, but make sure you ask. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.